The business provides you with a vehicle to make money, and it will teach you to keep money and to create more money from the money that you keep. So that's why we're all here. And investing in your business is the very, very basic starting point for developing that. So I urge you to develop a business mentality, because without that, you won't develop a business. And perhaps it was fortunate for us that we came from a business background, because investing in our business was never a question. But we understand that that's not where everyone's coming from. But we would just highly encourage you that it's worth making that investment, because it just makes all the difference. And then when you look at, I spent time thinking about different bonuses that we've received over the years, and the company will create different bonuses through different fiscal years that are just added on to the basic monthly plan, profit sharing plan. And we were oblivious to this in the early days of developing our business until our first check came in the mail. It was just a special bonus, and it was about $10,000. It wasn't a lot, but in looking back, it paid so many times over for what we had put into our business. And then 12 months later, a check, again on top of the basic bonus plan, came for about $19,000, and we were still babies in this business. And then another 12 months later was a $25,000 check. And these were things that nobody mentioned to us when we looked at the plan, at the concept. No one mentioned to us as we were setting goals and developing our business that these were things that might be in store for us. Because most of the time no one knew that it was going to happen. It just was that the company will look at what money is available for extra bonuses, and they'll share them amongst the people who have the growth in the business. So you need to ask yourself the question whether or not you want those sorts of bonuses, but you've got to invest in yourself first. It just doesn't happen until you invest in yourself and treat the business like a business. Is it worth it? Absolutely. What is it worth to have a family that's heading in a positive direction? What's that worth to you? You can't put a monetary value on that. What's it worth to have positivity radiating amongst your children who are basically in a reasonably negative world? People aren't, outside of who you experience here, people aren't the most positive around the place, are they? And it's quite different amongst the people that you work with here. We've had an enormous amount of travel through the business. Just, again, we didn't know about that in the first instance of taking a look at this. The travel is enormous, and you can take it or leave it. You don't have to do that, but it is a great opportunity to share different experiences with the people that you've developed the business with who you have become very good friends with, and it's a lot of fun. The association in the business is just enormous. You can't put a price on the level, the quality of people who you associate with in this business, who can teach you about wealth creation, who can teach you the most soundest, most basic principles about life. And I don't know what price I would put on that if I was to stop and think about it. What we're doing here is we're developing, or we're squeezing 45 years into about 3 to 5 years. That's what this business is all about. It's the wildest concept when you really stop and think about it. So you're developing an income over the next 3 to 5 years that is equal to or beyond what you're currently earning, so that you can replace what you're currently earning, or you can keep doing what you're currently doing and just have it as an add-on on top. So in developing that passive income, we have the choice to do away with our traditional 45-year plan. And the process of doing that requires some patience, because it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen without work. It doesn't happen without effort and without commitment. But we are doing something which is absolutely wild. And I would just encourage you to realise the effort that takes to create a balance in and around what you're doing, so that this isn't everything. It's just one part of your whole life, but it is a very important part. And have fun with it, because life goes on in and around what we're doing. If we weren't doing this, we should still be having a good time just living. And often we forget to do that. We forget that, we are alive and we're glad to be alive. We recently had the experience of losing Warwick's best mate to cancer, and he was the same age as Warwick, 42 years old, and that was something which I believe has impacted us quite, well, obviously in a very big way in actual fact, but you know, we live as though we have just so many years still to go, but we don't know what's around the corner. And I know that his wife would give anything to have him back. Yet we sit and we don't realise that we've got to move now. You know, we've got to make a difference now, not just for our families, but for other families whose lives we touch through doing what we're doing. We touch the lives of hundreds of families just at our level, at the platinum level and above. And you touch the lives of hundreds of people through showing the plan. And unfortunately, it takes experiences like that to perhaps give us a jolt. But we need to stop and think, how much time do we have to create the type of future that we want for ourselves and our families? We don't have a lot of time. And so we need to enjoy that journey. We need to treat it like it deserves everything we've got, because it does, and it's worth it. And I encourage you to build it and build it big. Here's Warwick.
She's awesome, isn't she? Unbelievable. It's amazing the amount of success that's around in this industry and the things that people say. I ran into this bloke the other day and he said, oh, that'll never work. I mean, some people are educated way beyond their intelligence, you know. It's just amazing some of the things. I saw a guy the other day and he said, oh, yeah, this looks interesting. And I'm thinking, interesting? This isn't interesting. This is unbelievable, you know, what you can create here. I had another guy said to me once, he said, what are my chances of making it? And he was asking the wrong question. I mean, the question is, what is his chances of making it without this? You know, where you've got a system, where you've got somebody to follow, and you've got a, you know, what you've got to understand in this business is all you're doing is following someone, and once you've checked out that you're following the right person, you know exactly where you're going to end up. Do you understand that? Like, you're just following somebody. Well, if you know that you're following somebody that's already gone down the road and you like the way that they live, then it becomes very simple. You know, a lot of people are constantly, they'll listen to the tapes and they're always trying to analyse the information. You don't have to analyse the information. What you've got to analyse is the source of the information. Once you check out the source, you no longer have to worry about the information. You need to spend your time checking out the source of the information. Once you've established that, you no longer have to question the information. Like, if you wanted to be, you might be a professor, or you might want to be a professional football player, or let's say it was a football player. If you wanted to play league and you had Mal Meninga coaching you, you wouldn't question what he's saying. You question, does this bloke know what he's talking about? Once you establish his background, what he's done, you no longer question what he's saying. You've got to question who he is and where the source of the information is. But once you've established that, you no longer have to question the information. Well, that's what you've got to do here. You've got to question the source of the information. And if you look at the lines of sponsorship and the credibility and the history of it all, and you go all the way back to Dexter, it's unbelievable. And once you establish that, it should give you a huge amount of confidence that you're on the right track. Another thing that a lot of people say is, they come along to something like this, and you would have all felt this, and if you're brand new, this thought will go through your mind tonight. You'll probably go away thinking, I didn't get my questions answered. And I remember thinking that. What you need to understand is, you got the answers, you didn't ask the right questions. You get the answers that you need that are going to help you move on to where you're going. You just don't know what questions to ask. And that's okay. You know, like, people, when they see this concept, they want to sound intelligent. So they come up with questions that they think, you know, like, the reason people ask questions is they want to sound like they're, you know, half smart, you know. They want to make an intelligent decision. But they don't know what questions to ask. And the answers that they're given are given to help them move on. They're the answers that they need. So you need to have an open mind when you're listening to this. This concept is so simple. We have a system and a pattern. And the system is just the training side. That'll teach you how to become successful. It is absolutely crucial. You don't have to follow this, but to be honest with you, I've never seen anyone have any level of success at all that hasn't diligently followed this system. I've never heard one leader in this business ever talk about anybody that had any level of success at all that didn't follow this diligently. Now, what the system is designed to do, the system, we all have what I call our personal level of incompetence. We'll all reach a point in our life where we just can't seem to go any further. We just can't, we hit a point where we can't get our income to go up anymore. Sure, we might have a purple patch, we might have a great year, but you'll find that it always evens out, and you'll have a shocker, a couple of years later, and you'll always even out. Now, the only way to raise what I call your personal level of incompetence is through personal development. And that's what this system is designed to do. And the system is designed to do it, and it does it with tapes, books, functions, help. And now understand this, because when I looked at this, I thought you had to be sharp to do this. And if you'd seen me when we got started, it's not the same bloke that's standing in front of you today. All I owned was stubbies, blue navy singlets, because I was a carpenter, and I owned a lot of cricket gear, cricket boots, cricket whites, lots of cricket shirts, cricket bag, pads, bats, all that sort of stuff. But when it came to business attire, it was like, I didn't even have a long pair of pants. I didn't even have a black pair of shoes. So you probably wouldn't have shown me the plan. In fact, I'll tell you how we saw the plan. No one showed us.